All right, so this is the day one, session one, and for all those who are new to programming, this is the best track. Like this is the best way to start. If you can start the things from here only. All right, so this is the first session. So I'll tell you, there were a lot of DMs, like we received a lot of DMs and queries that, sir, what are the prerequisites? What all things we require? Is Android very difficult? Can we do it? So let me tell you guys, there are no as such no prerequisites. You need not to learn anything, like you need not to have any prior knowledge before attending the session. But after attending the session, you will have a huge amount of you'll have a kitty of things to look forward to. So the prerequisites, I have lined up all the prerequisites. Basic computer literacy, we all have that. It's the 21st century. Basic maths skills, computer and headphones. Internet connectivity and Android device and USB cable. See, it's optional, so you need not to have it, but it's preferable. Like if you have it, then cool, and if not, then no worries. All right, so moving on. I badly want to ask you people these three questions. The first one is, why are you people here? Like, why are you here? So the answer is very simple. You people are here to learn Android, how to build your Android applications, right? So that is the reason why. And if this is the reason, then you're at the right place, right? So the next question is, what are your goals? So when it comes to goals, there are a lot of hackathons going on around the globe. So we have listed few of them. The very famous is the Google Summer of Code. It is lined up next year, 2021. So you can prepare yourself for Google Summer of Code. And it's one of the most it's the most valuable hackathon ever. There are other hackathons as well, Smart India and Imagine Cup. See, Imagine Cup is very less known. It's Microsoft's hackathon and it's very less known, but it's there. And the cash prize is a huge, cash prize is huge. So, you know, keep an eye on this. You can Google this. And there are a lot of government oriented, like the government also fund a lot of hackathons like the NPCI and the Major League Hackings. So you people can check them out. You can, will also guide you through this and you people can prepare yourself for all these hackathons. Moving on is the question like, how do you plan to achieve them? The third important question. So see, this is a very relative question, to be very honest. Like my way of learning Android is different and yours would be different. So it's all on you, how you want to prepare, what all things you require and all those things. So we are right now opening the session for all of you. Like who would like to share the thoughts? Like you can unmute yourself and tell us how you want to go ahead with the Android development and all. We want to hear from you because there is no answer which is wrong. Like you won't come up with any wrong answer. So you are free to share anything. So yeah, I'm opening the session for you people. You can chat in the chat box. You can type and Shekhar can assist also. Right, I see a lot of chats.
Yes, I can see there are a lot of system requirement queries and many people are not knowing what are the basic languages that are requiring in Android development. So don't worry, guys. We will solve your doubts. Don't worry. Just unmute yourself. We will unmute you, and then you can tell what are your ways or how you will achieve your goals.
All right, I see a comment. Dipankar says, I don't know Kotlin. See, don't worry, Dipankar, it's all right. See, we all are here to learn. We'll guide you how you can learn Kotlin and everything. So don't worry. Also, there's this one question from Mukesh. Do we need to know any programming language? Yes, we'll be teaching you, like Kotlin is the programming language. During the course, we'll explain everything. So don't worry, sit back, relax and, enjoy the session. Are just 4 sessions enough for the learning Android? See, when it comes to Android sessions, we have planned in such a way that we are gonna tell you how you can learn. Like it will be self-oriented and it's more like the courses are designed. The sessions are designed in such a way that will give you enough time to practice in your at your home and at the comfort of your home, and you can come back to us. You can ask, raise queries. We'll also be assigning you mentors, everything. So that's that. So I feel I have answered enough questions, so let's move on. Is there any online simulator or we need to install software? We'll be sharing everything. Don't worry. Don't worry, Scotland. We'll share all your doubts will be cleared here. So don't worry. All right. So let's start the. Yeah.
Abhishek,
Yeah.
just a second.
Yes, sir.
Guys, do have patience. Like we.
You're not audible, sir. Is it
Okay,
me?
sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So just have a patience. Like we'll be elaborating all those questions which you have. Meanwhile, our like PPT which we have prepared. I guess we have prepared a good PPT. So that will clear all your doubts. So in the end we will just have a session like a Q&A session where you can just ask your queries and we'll just focus on your queries. Another thing, like if this is useful or not, like this is not like we do not prefer much in like branch wise, like IT or mech or ENTC. It's more like who have interest in Android development, want to learn Android development from very basic, like from step one, and want to go move on with the Android development. So he or she can be the part of this meeting. Okay,
Precise.
it's not like your course oriented, so something like that.
Right. Yeah. Yes, very well. So precisely. So, all right. So now let's move on to the learning objectives. See, the learning objective is simple. We'll be introducing Android to you. We'll build your first. You people will build your first Android application, which is fascinating. Like, it's cool, you know. It sounds cool. And also, we'll set up the Android Studio on your computer. See, when it comes to app development, Android Studio is the one which gives you all the features. Like it provides all the things which you require to build your own application. So we'll be we'll share our screens as well. We'll show inside what all things happen inside Android Studio and everything. And we'll move on to the basics of Kotlin programming language. I see a lot of people raise this question like how to learn and everything. So we'll be sharing those things as well. We'll cover everything. Then we'll discover the resources to continue learning. See, when it comes to Android development, you need to update your application, right? So you need to stay updated. You can't just sit back, relax, and you build one application and then you relax for a huge period of time. It's not like that. So you need to keep updating. So we'll be sharing all the resources, like all the in the document form, via our Slack channel, our other things. Will give all the links as well. So don't worry, we'll share all the resources. So this is the today's schedule. What all things will be covering: basic presentation, introduction of Android, and then Kotlin. We'll move on to Kotlin. Android Studio will give you an amazing idea of what Android Studio serves. Then the 3 pathways where you will be learning the introduction of Kotlin, first Android application, and build the basic layout. So I feel this will cover all your doubts. Trust me. And we'll also then celebrate together. Yeah.
You all, and I am Shekhar Kumar, a second year student from Information Technology branch, and I am actually the Android facilitator of this campus and specially chosen by Google to help you guide through this session. I have a decent history in Android development and primarily I use Kotlin. Basically, I use mostly Kotlin for my Android development, and I will teach you how to use Kotlin for your Android development. So now let's start the learning part, which is the introduction to Android. Most of you are just a beginner. You want to know what is actually Android, how you will code, how you will run Android Studio. Sit back, and we will teach you all the basic parts, and you can just start building your apps. So now let's move to the next slide. Android is actually a mobile OS which is based on Linux kernel. So more than 80% of smartphones are actually Linux kernel. So it has a huge market, and you can deep dive into the market and start building your Android app. These Android apps, the Android OS actually powers watches, TVs, cars, and lots of things. It is very customizable. You can create your own flavor. You can create your own OS. I can create a meal OS if, as it is known, that it is very open source. So you can change your code, tweak your features, change any of the part, and create your own OS also. So, so now we will learn what actually a Android app, which is more precise, Android application. In the lockdown, you have played PUBG, you have played Call of Duty, you have Bing watched Netflix, streamed Netflix, you have used Google Docs for your assignment. There's lots of apps that you have used, but you don't know how it is actually doing the basic things. So what you can do, so in this session, we will tell you how these apps are basically made. So these apps are actually based on Java or Kotlin programming language with XML. So these languages are written in Android software development kit, which is provided in Android Studio. So you will be having SDK for developing your Android app. And these Android apps use Android libraries and Android application frameworks that are basically written in Java programming languages. And if you know Java a little bit, then you know that there is also a Java runtime environment that helps you isolate your program from OS. In the same way, in Android, there is Android runtime virtual machines that isolates your Android application from OS and secures it and provides a better memory management and resource management. So now let's move to the next slide. In the next slide, we will learning what is actually Android stack, which is the internal structure of the Android. Look, you are using your phone. It is actually a black box. Like I call it a black box because you know you run through. You are a computer science student. You don't know how Android is actually working. You have code a little bit of program. You also know coding, but you don't know what is actually going in your phone, how it is working, how the Android is basically working. So in this session, in this slide, we will learning how Android is basically working by learning the platform architecture. So now let's move to the next slide, which is the Android stack. In Android stack it's also called Android stack. You know data structure. If you don't know data structure, no worry. You will later learn the stack data structure, but we call it as an Android stack. So if we zoom a little bit, if you zoom, there is the first layer, which is called the system apps. The first system app is basically all your Android app. It can be any Android app. It can be dialer, email, calendar, camera. It can be anything. It is the first layer. It is very abstracted layer. You don't know what is the code is the running these apps. You only are shown the UI part. So as a developer, as an Android developer, you can change your the codes in Android Studio. You can make an Android app. In this layer, you are allowed to only access the first layer and the second layer, which is the second layer is actually the Java API framework. Actually, Java API frameworks are these interfaces that are written in Java programming language. You can use these Java API framework to create a more important functionalities and change your code to your own customizable on your convenience. You can create the different libraries and Java libraries for your system apps. You can see three major boxes, which is content providers, managers, view systems. Basically, these are Android libraries that provide basic functionalities to your system apps. You can override these methods and create your own flavors of your code. And below the stack, there are two parts, which is actually the native C++ libraries and Android runtime. Android runtime, you are seeing this is actually yellow, and native C++ libraries are in purple. So basically, these are very important things to know, because Android C++ libraries are written in C++, and they provide very, very important tasks to your Android system architecture, because these are very fast. They provide, like, if you take example, in the box, you can see a OpenGL written on. Actually, second year student will know that OpenGL provides a rendering 3D graphics on your computer screen. So there is an OpenGL library in your Android, so you can render 3D 3D images, shapes, and there are also media frameworks to run videos, show images. So there are libraries to provide certain basic functionality. Along with it, there is an Android runtime. If you know Java, then you know that there is Java virtual machine. Like similarly, there's an Android runtime virtual machine also in your phone. It's basically the same. They provide Android apps to create instances. These instances are isolated with one another. They can't interfere in these interfaces. One apps cannot interfere in the other. Like if you are playing PUBG and you want to use Facebook, then you can use simultaneously. But if the runtime is not actually provided, then you can't use these apps simultaneously. One will interfere other for resource management, and there will be memory leaks, and one app will consume more memory than another. So Android runtime is very important in this architecture. In the below, there is hardware abstraction layer. So all the hardware, all the interfaces are actually in this layer. So system library, C++ library communicate with these hardwares and provide an interaction to the hardware. So, and in the below, it is the Linux kernel. In the Linux kernel, Android has chosen Linux. It is very smooth. It's very efficient. Linux is very fast. Android use it Linux because Android believes Linux that it can perform because first of all that Android is open source and Linux is also open source. So any vendor, any smartphone vendor can change it Linux, create in itself in a mobile a platform, create a Linux version of the platform so that it can be run on a mobile phone. And that is the last part where the Linux part. So this is actually the Android stack, which is a black box. I call it a black box because we don't know how these things are running. It was very interesting to know how these things are working. So if you know Android Studio, you should know how Android is actually working. So now let's move to the next slide. So now we have come to Android Studio. There are lots of doubts in the chat section how Android Studio, how much amount of RAM you will be using on, it can run on Mac or not. But from that, these are specification parts. But let's learn how what is actually an Android Studio. Basically, Android Studio is a place where it's a magical place where you can do all your Android development in one place. You can run it, test it, code it, debug it, everything in just one place. So it's a magical place. So you should have an Android Studio. So what is actually Android Studio? It's basically a single integrated development environment. It provides you log console, editor, Gradle build system, Android virtual device manager, everything. You don't have to use other softwares, but you have to use Android Studio because Android Studio is the only Android development environment, native Android development environment, to be very precise. Android development environment also provides you with USB debugging and emulator services. So what actually this means is that you can run your Android app on your phone simultaneously in real-time environment, test it, debug it. You can also run your app on your Android devices. I will be sharing my screen to show how Android Studio looks. In the next slide, you can see the picture of Android Studio. And in just a second, I'm sharing my screen to show you how Android Studio looks. So
I'll stop sharing then. Just a second. All right.
So I'm just sharing my screen, and if you can see my screen, give a thumbs up in the chat boxes.
We
so
can't
I
see.
can know that you are actually.
No, we can't.
Okay,
See. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So just wait a minute.
Yeah, it's visible. No
so this is actually. Actually, this is in the dark mode. Don't worry if you have installed Android Studio and it is very white. It is actually in the light mode, and I have set it to dark mode. Don't worry about it. So this is actually Android Studio. In the left, you can see, okay, let's take example. We just try to make an app. So we go to File, we go to New and create a new project. So you are actually seeing me, actually you are seeing what I'm doing.
No, it's like the screenshot. Yeah, stopped. Yeah. It's visible. No worries. Just go a little slow. Yeah, go a little slow. Yeah.
Okay. So I have opened a window where you can create a template. So you can select any template. It's just like creating a file. So you in VS Code or any editor, you just click on new and create your own file. So here it's basically a same thing, but the main thing is that you have to select a template. So we can select anything. So we want to make an app for a phone, tablet, Wear OS, like watches, Android TV, automotive things, Android things, anything. So we just have to select a basic template. So start your app. So here we will select a Google Map activity and click on next and give my application name is Android Study Jams Map and select minimum SDK. Basically, minimum SDK means that you have to select that minimum version that your Android apps can run. You can select Lollipop, Jelly Bean, any KitKat version. So it's just a basic demo. If you don't know, don't worry about it. Just see what I am doing, so that whenever you install Android Studio, you are basically familiar with how to use it. So I select Lollipop and then I click on finish.
Shikhar, just go a little slow so that people can see, because your screen is lagging. But it's all right, guys. Like, we'll be sharing everything later on, so don't worry. Yeah, you can continue, Shikhar.
Okay, basically, I have created an Android. I have selected a template and I started building an app. And you are seeing right down below a yellow thing which is saying Gradle, download Kotlin, this and this. Basically, it is actually downloading new files for building an app. And so you should have a good Android. First of all, you should have a good RAM and a better internet connection, so that all the files are downloaded very fastly to you. And we can take another example.
Let's talk about Kotlin a bit. Shekhar have already explained you about Android, Android Studio and what all things require. You people can just explore all these things. You can install the software. We'll provide the links as well. So let's talk about Kotlin a bit. See, Kotlin is a cross-platform, statically typed general-purpose programming language, and with the type interface, and it is designed in interpret fully with Java. So I'll explain all the terms. Don't worry. So when it comes to Kotlin, it's a modern programming language that helps developers to become more productive. So it's more like in Kotlin, when compared to other programming languages, you need not to write a huge lengths of codes. So that is the factor which defines and which tells you, or maybe distinguishes Kotlin with other languages. And to be very honest, it's the first love of all the Android developers. If you are an Android developer, or if you want to start your career, and most of you have joined, like they want to start the career in Android development. So I feel Kotlin will be the preferred one. Like, you people can start with Kotlin because it's better than other programming language. Now the question arises, why only Kotlin? Why not Java? Java is a lot of people are using, but let me tell you why Kotlin is preferred and why Google is also making people aware about the use of Kotlin. So the first and the most important factor is the expressive and conciseness, the very nature of Kotlin. Now, what do you mean by conciseness and expressive nature or whatever? So it's more like you need not to write a huge amount of codes compared to Java. See, I'll tell you something. In Java, to avoid a crash or an error, a programmer writes a huge amount of codes, but compared to Kotlin, he gets all the things, there itself. So you need not to write a lot of codes for a particular thing to, to function something. And also there's this safer code. Now it's more like it avoids the null pointer expression. Now you must be like, what is null pointer expression? So let me tell you. When it comes to Java, then I have already explained that when it comes to Java, you need to write a huge a lot of codes to avoid any crash, and it becomes very difficult for any. It's easy, in Java things are easy, but Kotlin avoids the null pointer expression. You need not to write. It avoids the crash, and the application becomes more flexible, or maybe better, like fluent or flexible. So that is the reason why Kotlin is preferred over Java. And the third important point is the interoperable nature of Kotlin. Now, what is it like? What exactly is interoperable? It's more like you can change. Like if you have programmed in Java, you can change it to Kotlin, and in Kotlin also you can vice versa is true. Like you can change it back to the Java as well. So both the things are interconvertible, and both the languages can be used in a particular Android Studio as well. Like Android Studio provides this feature to convert Java to Android. So the interoperable nature. And now the fourth point is the structured concurrency. Now you must be like, what is this term? Like let me use the laser. Yeah, you must be like, what is Kotlin coroutine, streamline, asynchronous programming language? Yeah, it's a huge term, but the meaning is very simple. It's like it's simple that once you are if you are running a code, then you need not to wait for some code to implement. You can switch it to the third code or fifth code. So you need not to wait for some code to program and then you do the second one. So it's like it's not it's asynchronous, right? So it's not dependent on the other code. Like if you have time, then you can run the first code. If you have time, you can run the fifth code and all those things. So and at any point of time you can run any code. So this is a great feature of Kotlin, I feel, and it's very flexible. So that is the reason why you should start your journey with Kotlin. All right, so now over to Shekhar, if he's here. Yeah,
so actually Neil had told you why you should have to choose Kotlin and why you have to code in Kotlin. So website where you can learn the development part. You are provided with the documentation, examples, puzzles, everything in the same. You can see the laptop where in a window is open, the website, which is called the Kotlin Cons. It's actually called Kotlin Cons, a very radical name. And you can, in the next slide, you will see that actually what is in the Kotlin Cons website. So what you should have to do is actually click on the Start Now button. So you can, when you click on the Start Now button, you will be provided with the puzzles, quizzes, and everything that you have to for learning Kotlin. So the main thing is actually that you are very new to programming languages and you don't know how to code. They are FEs, they don't know how to code. So they can practice on this website, learn out how to write Kotlin codes. There are various students that also have some experience on programming languages, but they don't know how to code in Kotlin. So they can also practice on this website, and then they can further move to other pathways and other courses that are provided by Google to learn the Android development. And if you don't want to practice Kotlin, that's fine. You can also skip it. It is not necessary, but you should know basic syntaxes that should be used. In this actually console, what you are seeing in the right side is actually the problem statement. So in the right side, you are seeing a problem statement in the puzzle, and you can see in this actually puzzle, you have to print a OK statement. So in the center, you can code it. You can write your Kotlin code. And how you will write the Kotlin code? You will click the blue link in the right section. In the right section, this is called functional syntax. They will teach you that through this link you can learn how to solve this certain problem. You will provided with all the links and the documentation. When you will open this, they will provide you the basic syntaxes. All your doubts, all your queries will be cleared in this documentation. You have to read the documentation, then you can come to the program and solve your questions. So now let's move to build your first Android app. So basically, in
Uh,
this, now we will
Shikhar, just a second.
be very practical about it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Abhishek, like, can we just give them a live demo of this website,
Yeah,
which,
sure. Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. No worries. Like, do you want me to right away show them, or we have a live demo session as well planned for them, so I can show them
Okay,
there.
like we will be covering in few minutes, I guess, that
Yeah,
part.
yeah. So
Okay,
just
sure.
sit back.
Go ahead.
All right. So let's build our first application. Like the reason why you people are here, obviously. So see, I'll tell you everything right away. That in the live demo session as well, I'll be showing, I'll be sharing my screen and I'll show you all the pathways, how you can learn, what all videos you can watch, everything. So see, there are basically two tracks. One is for the beginners. One is for the beginners. If I can show you, yeah. So there are two tracks, and in each track there are a lot of units. So in the first track there are 2 units, and in the second one as well. You can start with the first track if you are a beginner. Mark my words, all right. And if you have any prior knowledge and you are programming since like a huge period of time, then you can start with the second track. And there are a lot of units lined up for you. There are a lot of activities, and after completing all the activities, you'll be in the activities you'll be watching a lot of videos. I'll share my screen and will watch a video together. Don't worry. And once you complete a video, once you watch the complete video completely, you will be redirected to the quiz part, wherein you'll solve the quizzes, you'll answer them. It's flexible, like you can re-attempt the quizzes. So you can feel free to re-watch the video and answer the quizzes again and earn badges. Now it's important, like it's very important to earn badges because they will tell you how skilled you are. They are the mark of your, skills, the badges. So it's important to earn all those badges as much, as much badges as you can earn. And it will also help you build the developer profile. See, it's more like it's in the beta version right now. Android, the Google is coming up with something really amazing for all of us, like all the Android developers. Google will make everyone's, like all the developers all the people who develop or maybe do Android development, it will showcase all the batches in one profile. So you can use that in your resume. You can put all the skills, all the developer profile link in the resume as well. So I feel it's a great opportunity for all of you to build your profile, developer profile. So we'll first see the concept overview and we'll then give you the demonstration, the live demonstration, as sir mentioned. Yeah. So Shekhar.
Yes. Here we will discuss what are you will be learning in these units, tracks, and how will be you using these pathways to earn badges. So in the next slide, we will learn what is actually a pathway and how we will going through the pathway 1, 2, and 3. So the next slide.
Yeah, I've changed that.
And in the pathway and okay, in the pathway 1, we will learning what is actually Kotlin and how will you learn the Kotlin, where you will learn the Kotlin and you will learn the basic syntaxes. So you have, as basically Neil has taught you, that you will be having 2 tracks. One is for basic people, like they don't know how to code, and the second track is basically for people like they have some knowledge, they know oops, they know how to code. So when you go to first track, open your first unit, you will be provided with the 4 pathway. First pathway, you will learn Kotlin programming languages, and then you will learn, you can go on to Kotlin Playground. You can use the Kotlin Playground to run your Android, Kotlin codes on your browser. So this is, it looks like it's simple playground website, or we will be posting the links in your chat boxes so that you can access these website. So me, we will be providing you the links in the chat box. You have to open that links and start using the pathway 1, pathway 2, and pathway 3. So now let's move on to pathway 2. You have to in the pathway 2, basically what you have to do is to install Android Studio, learn how to use the Android Studio. Actually, Android Studio, the main part is that Android Studio is must. You have to use Android Studio. There's no other option. So in the pathway 2, you also use Android emulator, and how you will learning how to test, run the Android emulator, and also to run or test your apps on Android emulator. So in the pathway 3, you will be learning how to create UI and the basic components that will be shown in the uh, Android apps. You will building UIs, you will building layouts, you will building views. These layouts are just arrangement. There are different arrangements. Every arrangement you will be learning in the pathway 3. There are views. These views are text element, text views, image views, and button view. And if you have some experience in web development, and then you know that there are elements, there are layouts, there are views. So just like that, in Android development there are views, and these are just a basic element, and you will learn in the pathway. So let's actually start the actual practical. Meil will be guiding you to practical hands-on.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much, Shikhar. All right. So I guess he explained all the pathways, so I need not to repeat again, but I'll be showing you, like will go to the website and then actually do it and watch some videos and everything so that you get an amazing idea. So these are the pathways 1 to 3, and a lot of activities are also there. So now this is important. This is very important. You people are asked, I want all of you to go in on this link and collect your first batch. I'll also go right now. I'll share my screen and I'll also go and we'll collect the first batch. So once you reach this website, this link, you'll be getting this batch. This nice batch will be added to your profile.
You can share the link in the chat boxes.
Yeah. All right. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'm actually sharing my screen, so I don't have the access. But yeah, someone have shared. Yeah. It's in the chat box now. So that's that. And there are
Sir, Abhil.
Yep.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, अभी link open करना है.
Yes. Right away. We'll give you time. Like, see, this is a live demo. Will take 5 minutes. We want you all to go on the website and check. Like, I'll also share my screen. All right. So this is the first. If you can see the screen. Is the screen visible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this is the unit 1. We are on the first track. So there are a lot of activities. You can see there are 4 activities, the 4 basically tabs, or and a lot of activities are lined up. So let me open the first one. All right. So there are a lot of videos. You need to sign up to save your progress. So just sign up, and then you need to watch all these videos. So I'll start the video. Let's watch the video completely. So an amazing idea.
Please change the voice.
Sorry.
The audio is not audible, I guess, because there's some glitch with like you have shared your whole screen, that thing. So
All right,
like
so
people can see it. You can just forward it. Like people have the link, so they can see it individually.
So you. All right. Okay. So you people can watch the video completely, and you'll be directed to a lot of videos. Like there are a lot of videos, and after finishing all these videos, you'll be directed to the quiz section. So you can do the quiz. You can answer all these quizzes. You can reattempt them, or copy them and use them in the compiler, and you can run all these codes as well. So this is the first track, and the other tracks are.
Some Abhishek, we have Code Labs Part 2 in 3rd or 4th, I guess.
All right. Yes, exactly.
So just open this page which you have opened.
So I mean this one, sir. Which page?
No, that video one page which you were showing last time. Before
right,
that,
yeah.
In this, if you go to 3rd and 4th one, so there like you have write your first program, so you can just move to take Code Labs, and there you will just you can, all the instruction and all the information will be given to you, so you can just learn things from here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what Kotlin is and how you can move ahead, how you can write the program, how you can write function, what are variables and all. That whole thing, you can just try it live.
Exactly, precisely, yes. So you people can go and you can practice as well. Anything, everything is lined up for you. All right, so this is like the first batch I was talking about. You want your first Code Lab completed batch. So you'll keep earning those batches. So just keep on the, go on the website, and we have shared the link in the chat box. You people can go and earn your badge. So this is the unit one. By the meantime, I'll also tell you the units. These are the 2 units, and you can earn these batches. It looks great, in the profile as well. So, and these are the 2 tracks I was talking about. So if you are new to programming, you can do this track. You can start the course, and you'll be directed to the 2 units. And if you are not, if you have any primary knowledge, then you can do this one. So this was it. And this was what I was talking about, the developer profile. So you can, all the batches will be lined up here. So these are some batches I earned like a huge some period of time back or whatever. So you people can build your profile very well. It's in the beta version, you can clearly see here, but they are coming up with updates, and you can favoritize your batches as well and all these things. So that's that. And this is the playground which we were talking about. This is the playground where you'll actually play, where you'll code. So, and we'll be sharing these resources, like the links of all the, sit back, and Monday is an holiday. So you people can, practice all these things. And we have shared all the links in the chat box. So if you are back, then we'll continue. Otherwise, you can take your time, no worries. All right, so I have already shown you. And now if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself, and you are free to answer. Our core team member will answer, like if the video is working or not, if you can see the quizzes or not, if you are able to access them, then you can raise your hand or maybe unmute your mic.
Actually, I just want to summarize this thing. In Hindi, I would love to go because people might have some issues with English. So एक्चुअली हमने अभी तक तुम्हें बताया कि एंड्रॉयड में हम कॉटलिन के यूज़ से एंड्रॉयड ऐप्स डेवलप कर सकते हैं यूजिंग एंड्रॉयड स्टूडियो एंड कॉटलिन लैंग्वेज. सो I know कि most of you people are like very beginners in Android development. ठीक है, तो what we have provided you is हमने तुम्हें ये लिंक प्रोवाइड किया है g.co/android/studyjam. सो इसमें तुम लॉग इन करके वेरियस लाइक बिगिनर्स और न्यू टू प्रोग्रामिंग एंड 2 इसमें ट्रैक्स हैं. ट्रैक्स इन द सेंस 2 कोर्सेज काइंड ऑफ हैं जो गूगल की तरफ से लाइक फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट हैं फॉर यू गाइस अंडर द DSC. सो तुम लोग उसमें अपने आप को रजिस्टर करके जस्ट स्टार्ट कर सकते हो एक्सप्लोर करना. अब सिंपल जैसे कोई भी कोर्स होता है तो उसमें तुम्हें कैसे इंस्ट्रक्टर वीडियो देता है, उसके बाद तुम उसकी प्रैक्टिस करते हो एंड खुद से डेवलप करते हो. तो यहाँ पर क्या करना है, उसमें कुछ लिमिटेशंस भी हो जाती हैं. सपोज अगर हमें इंडिविजुअल मशीन्स में करते हैं तो कभी कभी कॉन्फ़िगरेशन का इशू आता है, कभी कभी वो पर्टिकुलर जितने भी हमारे इन्वायरमेंट्स हैं वो हम अच्छे से इस्टेब्लिश नहीं कर पाते हैं. तो इसकी वजह से इस साइट पे जाके तुम लोग लाइव सारी चीजें लर्न कर सकते हो. सपोज तुम साइट पे गए, अभिषेक कैन यू जस्ट मूव ऑन विथ माय वर्ड्स ऑन द साइट.
Yeah, sure, sir. We'll do that.
या सपोज वील इनिशियली हम अपनी साइट पे गए जो हमारी मेन साइट थी. जस्ट गो टू दैट लिंक, नॉट दिस वन, जस्ट गेट बैक.
Right. With the chat, in just 1 second.
Yeah, so that like people can feel how they would go.
All right.
Yeah, this one.
This one. All right. Yeah.
So yeah, this is like यहाँ पर तुम जाओगे जैसे ही तो एंड्रॉइड स्टडी जैम्स के लिए तुम्हारे पास आ रहे हैं. तो तुमने जब यहाँ पे साइन इन किया, अब तुम्हें यहाँ पे 2 ऑप्शंस दिख रहे हैं. वन इज न्यू टू प्रोग्रामिंग एंड वन इज प्रायर प्रोग्रामिंग एक्सपीरियंस. तो इसमें क्या करना है, सपोज इफ यू आर फर्स्ट ईयर्स, आई गेस यू डोंट हैव मच एक्सपीरियंस, सो तुम्हारे लिए बेस्ट ऑप्शन रहेगा न्यू टू प्रोग्रामिंग. वाइल अगर कोई सेकेंड ईयर या थर्ड ईयर स्टूडेंट वांट टू नो, लाइक उसको थोड़ा बहुत नॉलेज है बेसिक्स का, तो like he can just simply choose the second one. Second one was Abhishek. Android Kotlin. Yeah, this one, prior programming experience. So you can, they have 2 things, like start Kotlin course, like brush up your Kotlin part or Kotlin knowledge, and then start your course. Like there you will learn some basic UI and architecture thing. So अगर तुम फर्स्ट ईयर न्यू टू प्रोग्रामिंग वाले कोर्स को स्टार्ट करते हो, अभिषेक जस्ट मूव ऑन, स्टार्ट कोर्स न्यू टू प्रोग्रामिंग. या तो यहाँ पर तुमको कुछ यूनिट 1 एंड यूनिट 2 और भी 1-2 यूनिट में भी अभी आगे जाके अवेलेबल होंगे जब तक तुम ये करोगे विद इन फ्यू डेज, 1 और 2. तो जब हम किसी भी यूनिट, सपोज यूनिट 1 कॉटलिन के बेसिक्स हमें सीखने, लाइक वी आर रियली वेरी न्यू टू कॉटलिन, राइट, हमें कोई भी लैंग्वेज नहीं पता. तो जस्ट एक्सप्लोर द यूनिट 1 लाइक कॉटलिन बेसिक्स फ्रॉम एंड्रॉइड. सो इसके अंदर कुछ तुम्हारे 4 to 5 ट्रैक्स या क्वेस्ट्स कह सकते हैं हम इनको. सो सपोज इसमें भी वेरी फर्स्ट इंट्रोडक्शन टू कॉटलिन, ठीक है, कोई भी हम लैंग्वेज सीखते हैं तो सबसे पहले उसका इंट्रोडक्शन ही सीखते हैं, कैसे काम करती है वो चीज़ें, वो सब. तो इंट्रोडक्शन वाली हमने पहली वाली ट्रैक खोली सपोज. तो इंट्रोडक्शन टू कॉटलिन में जब हम एक्सप्लोर करेंगे तो उसके पास उसमें हमारे ऐसे आ जाएगा, सपोज दिस इज फर्स्ट. तो ये फर्स्ट वीडियो में तुम्हें बताएगा कि एंड्रॉयड के बेसिक्स क्या होते हैं. सेकंड वीडियो में तुम्हें एंड्रॉयड ऐप कॉटलिन के बारे में बताएगा कि लाइक हाउ फर्स्ट कॉटलिन ऐप, कॉटलिन से तुम कैसे अपना ऐप बना सकते हो. उसके बाद में तुम्हें कोड लैब्स में ले जाएंगे जहाँ पे तुम अपना खुद का प्रोग्राम ट्राई कर सकते हो, लाइक हाउ, I'm sorry. Who's that?
I'll mute. Don't worry.
I guess you are.
I'll mute.
Harsh Katiyar, I guess.
Yeah, I've muted him. Don't worry. Yeah, you can continue.
So like तुम जब कोड लैब्स में गए तो तुम्हें उन्होंने इनिशियली तुम्हें फंक्शंस का बताया जाएगा कि प्रिंट फंक्शन क्या कर रहा है, देन लाइन ब्रेक के लिए हमें क्या यूज करना है, सिंपल एक बहुत ही बेसिक सा हेलो वर्ल्ड वाला कोड लिखना. तो ऐसे ऐसे करके तुम पूरा इसको फॉलो करके विद इन 7-8 स्टेप्स लाइक यू विल नो कि ये फंक्शन पूरा वर्क कैसे कर रहा है. इसके प्रॉपर डॉक्यूमेंटेशंस हैं जहाँ पे तुम जाके और इसके बारे में पढ़ सकते हो, एंड यू कैन जस्ट प्रैक्टिस योर ओन ऑन 8th one. सो अभी तक हमने क्या देखा कि लाइक हमें प्रॉपर एक प्रोसीजर हम तुमको दिखा रहे हैं कि लाइक हाउ यू कैन जस्ट लर्न द थिंग्स. तुमने पहले कॉटलिन के बेसिक्स सीखे. अभिषेक जस्ट मूव बैक, लाइक बेसिक्स वन. या तुमने पहले कॉटलिन्स के बेसिक्स सीखे, उसके बाद तुमने लेआउट, जैसे हम कोई भी ऐप देखते हैं उसके अंदर हमारे बटन्स, सपोज व्हाट्सएप ही हो गया तो उसके अंदर हमारे बटन्स होते हैं, उसके अंदर चैट्स होती हैं सिंपल. तो हर चीज़ का एक लेआउट होता है एंड उसके बाद उसमें डेटा फिल किया जाता है. तो वो लेआउट्स बनाना तुम इनसे सीखोगे. तो लाइक दिस इज ऑल योर लाइक व्हाट आई कैन से कि ये तुम्हारा काइंड ऑफ एक फ्रेंड और एक कंपनी की तरह वर्क करेगा टू ऑल योर जर्नी, ठीक है. तो लाइक यू कैन जस्ट स्टार्ट यूजिंग दिस. इसमें कुछ भी डाउट्स आते हैं तो हमारी जो स्लैक की कम्युनिटी है हम उसका लिंक देंगे, तो तुम उस पर जाके हम डिस्कस करके किसी को कुछ भी इशू है प्रोग्राम में या कहीं पे भी तो हम कर सकते हैं. वहीं दूसरा केस आता है जिनको कॉटलिन आती है ऑलरेडी थोड़ी बहुत बेसिक्स एंड दे फील लाइक उनको वो लाइक वेरी फ्रेश डेवलपर्स नहीं है, उनने पहले भी थोड़ा बहुत काम किया हुआ है, तो उनके लिए हमारे पास सेकंड ऑप्शन है लाइक स्टार्ट कॉटलिन कोन्स। इसमें तुम कॉटलिन्स के और बेसिक्स भी पढ़ सकते हो, उसके बाद उस वाले में सिंपल स्टार्ट कोर्स जिसमें तुम काफ़ी और एडवांस लेवल पे जाओगे, ठीक है। तो इट्स नॉट लाइक कि तुम जो जिनको फर्स्ट क्या बोलते हैं जो स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं वो सेकंड वाले पे नहीं जा सकते। तुम पहले फर्स्ट से सीखो, चीज़ें कर करके सीखो, खुद से ट्राई करो सारी चीज़ें, देन तुम सेकंड वाले पे जाओगे तो तुम्हें अपने आप चीज़ें फील हो जाएंगी कि हाँ आई कैन बिल्ड समथिंग न्यू। ओके, अब जैसे जैसे तुम ये सारे ट्रैक्स एंड ये बैजेस अर्न करते जाओगे तो क्या होता है कि तुम्हारी जितनी भी प्रोफाइल्स होती हैं, लाइक अगर तुम लिंक्डइन की बात करो या फिर तुम कहीं पे भी बात करो, डेवलपर प्रोफाइल जो गूगल अभी अंडर बीटा फेज है जो बन रहा है, तो लाइक वहाँ पे क्या होगा कि तुम्हारे ये सारे बैजेस दिखेंगे एंड यू कैन शो योर प्रोफाइल लिंक टू एनीवन। लाइक अगर तुम कहीं इंटरव्यू में हो या अपने रिज्यूमे में डाल सकते हो कि लाइक आई हैव प्रोफाइल, एंड if you show these profile and you have those cards like मेरे पास ये cards हैं, मेरे पास ये badges हैं, so the other person will know कि हाँ इस बंदे ने इस फील्ड में काम किया हुआ है, so that he could know, like he could judge you on behalf of that. So this is all the thing like which we want you to like initially एक question आया था कि 4 session sufficient है क्या? अभिषेक, we can move to PPT I guess. So 4 सेशन सफिशिएंट है क्या? सो एक्चुअली ऐसा नहीं है कि तुम किसी स्कूल में हो या तुम कहीं एक नॉर्मल कोई भी कोचिंग क्लास में हो जहाँ पे हम तुम्हें स्पून फीड कराएंगे कि लाइक तुम ऐसे करके फंक्शन लिखो, तुम ये करो, तुम ये करो। सेशंस होते हैं, मोस्टली वी कंडक्ट सेशन जस्ट टू गिव यू प्रॉपर रिसोर्सेज टू गेट यू इन द कम्युनिटी, डेवलपर्स कम्युनिटी, एंड टू गिव यू प्रॉपर रिसोर्सेज एंड रोड मैप्स थ्रू विच यू कैन इफ यू कैन फॉलो, तो तुम उनको लाइक तुम चीज़ें सीख सकते हो एंड तुम्हें कुछ भी डाउट आता है तो तुम पूरी कम्युनिटी में पूछ सकते हो एंड एवरीवन कैन रिस्पॉन्ड। अगर हम इट्स नॉट लाइक कि हम ही रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे, मेंटर्स या जो भी ऑलरेडी एक्सपीरियंस डेवलपर्स हैं जिसको भी उसका आंसर आता है ही और शी कैन रिस्पॉन्ड दैट। सो दिस इज हाउ वी ऑल ग्रो टुगेदर। सो दिस इज आवर मेन पर्पस। आई होप आपको अब शायद क्लियर हो गया हो जब मैंने एक बार पूरा रिवाइंड कर दिया। कैन हैव क्विक रिस्पॉन्सेस प्लीज if people got this?
Yeah, please send a thumb.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We got this, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, perfect. Good job.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, Abhishek, you can continue.
Yeah, all right. So I'm just I guess sir have told everything, and there's no need to sum up everything. But yeah, I'm just a last note. You people are free to contact us via any social media site. Like you can come up with any doubt. You can feel free to DM Akshay sir, our DSC lead, or facilitator Shekhar, or me individually. We'll be providing you all the links. You can search. Just don't feel you don't have to feel anything. Like if you don't know anything, you need to explore things. So sir have already explained all these things. I need not to repeat again, so I won't take much of your time. Just to remind, I would say thank you so much for joining in today.
No,
wait. Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Actually, अक्षय सर ने सब कुछ बता दिया कि कैसे क्या करना है, सब पाथवेज कैसे करना है। ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी अब तुम सबकी होती है कि इन पाथवेज को कंप्लीट करना है तुम्हें बैच। सर्टिफिकेट उन्हीं को मिलेंगे जो सेकंड ट्रैक कंप्लीट करेगा, विच इज़ द प्रायर प्रोग्रामिंग। सो तुम्हें ये बैच कंप्लीट करना है, तुम्हें सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा, और हम इसके साथ साथ एक ऐप बिल्डिंग कॉन्टेस्ट करवा रहे हैं। सो लाइक यू हैव टू बिल्ड एन एंड्रॉयड ऐप। तुम अपनी टीम बना सकते हो। मोस्टली मैं कहूँगा कि 4 लोगों की टीम बनाओ या 5 लोगों की बनाओ। तुम ऐप उन टीम बनाओ। एफईज अपनी टीम बना सकते हैं, एसईज अलग टीम बना सकते हैं। जो भी सीखना है यहाँ कोर्सेज पे सीखो, अच्छे से सीखो, एंड जो भी टॉपिक्स है पूछो, स्लैक चैनल पे पूछो, जैसा पूछना है पूछो। आपको मेंटर्स प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, वो आपके सारे डाउट्स बताएंगे। अक्षय शर्मा सर हैं, मैं हूँ, ये सब तुम्हें बताएंगे रिसोर्सेज कहाँ से तुम अच्छे से ऐप बना सकते हो। ये 1-2 महीना तुम्हें एक टाइम मिलेगा जहाँ पे तुम अच्छे से एंड्रॉयड ऐप बना सकते हो। जो भी विनर होगा हम अपने सोशल चैनल पे उसे प्रेजेंट करेंगे। उसे क्या कहते हैं कि जितना ज़्यादा हम उसे लोगों तक पहुंचा सकते हैं तुम्हारे ऐप को पहुंचाएंगे। अगर तुम्हारा ऐप और अच्छा हुआ तो तुम्हारे ऐप को गूगल अपने चैनल पे, अपने सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पे वो शो करेगा। तो ये बहुत बड़ी बात होगी तुम लोगों के लिए कि तुम्हारा ऐप गूगल प्रमोट कर रहा है, दिखा रहा है। एंड फर्दर हम सब एक्चुअली हमारे कॉलेज को ये प्रिविलेज मिला कि हम डीएससी का पार्ट हो सकते हैं। तो एज अ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हम पार्ट ले सकते हैं गूगल सोल्यूशन चैलेंज 2021 में। ये एक बहुत बड़ा सोल्यूशन चैलेंज है, ग्लोबली ये चीज़ हो रही है। इसमें हमें क्या करना होता है, एक ऐप बनाना होता है जो कि एक कम्युनिटी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करती है। तो तुम लोग जो ऐप बनाओगे, अगर वो कोई कम्युनिटी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रही होगी तो हम क्या करेंगे, उस ऐप को क्या करेंगे, फॉरवर्ड करेंगे गूगल सोल्यूशन 2021 में। अगर तुम्हारा ऐप टॉप 10 में आ जाता है तो तुम्हें कैलिफोर्निया बुलाया जाएगा फ्री ऑफ एक्सपेंसेस। तुम्हारे ऐप को लिस्ट किया जाएगा एंड्रॉयड की ऑनरिंग वेबसाइट में, जहाँ पे टॉप 10 ऑनरेबल मेंशंस होंगे। तुम्हें फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट बुलाया जाएगा कैलिफोर्निया कि आओ हमें एक्सप्लेन करो तुमने क्या बनाया है। और अगर ये तुमने बना लिया, पहुंच गया तुम्हारा, तो बहुत बड़ी बात होगी, रेज्यूमे में लगा सकते हैं इस चीज़ को। और सबसे बड़ी बात, इंडिया से 2-3 हर साल जीत रहे हैं लोग। सो बहुत अच्छा चांस है कि ऐप बनाओ, सबमिट करो। जितना ज़्यादा ये टाइम 1 महीने में दे सकते हैं लर्न करने के लिए, ऑल द बेस्ट। सबको ये करना चाहिए। एंड स्लैक कम्युनिटी में बहुत ज़्यादा
एक्सक्यूज मी सर,
यस
सर अभी आपने बोला कि अगर हम कोई अगर ऐप बनाते हैं और अगर वो किसी कम्युनिटी की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रही हो तो तब उसका आगे फॉरवर्ड में रिवॉर्ड मिलता है। लेकिन हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि कोई भी पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी की क्या प्रॉब्लम है? उसके लिए कोई साइट है क्या?
लाइक नहीं, एक्चुअली कम्युनिटी प्रॉब्लम बेसिकली होता ये है कि लाइक तुमने देखा कि मेरे साइड में, मेरे घर के पास में एक प्रॉब्लम चले, लाइक हमने ऐसा सोचा कि हॉस्टल्स में कुछ प्रॉब्लम चल रही है, हम उसके लिए एक ऐप बनाना चाहते हैं। मेरे स्टूडेंट वेंडर्स हैं, शॉपकीपर्स हैं, मैं उनके लिए ऐप बनाना चाहता हूँ जो कि बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करे। मैं कोई कॉर्पोरेट लोगों के लिए बनाना चाहता हूँ ऐप जो एक प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करे। तो कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है। बेसिकली कम्युनिटी कोई भी लोग होते हैं, उनकी कोई प्रॉब्लम्स होती है, तुम पिक कर सकते हो, उनको देख सकते हो कि क्या क्या बेसिक प्रॉब्लम वो लोग फेस कर रहे हैं। या तो तुम उनसे पूछ सकते हो या रिसर्च कर सकते हो इंटरनेट पे। देखो, जरूरी नहीं कि कोई बड़ा ऐप बने, लेकिन बहुत बेसिक ऐप भी बना सकते हो। बट ये होना चाहिए कि वो एक नॉर्मल प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहा हो। बेसिकली कोई भी ऐप बना सकते हो आप। जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको कम्युनिटी के पास जाना ही पड़े, इंटरनेट पे सर्च कर लो किसी भी तरीके से।
या लाइक कम्युनिटी से मिसअंडरस्टूड मत करो। लाइक तुम्हें कोई बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करनी है, बहुत बेसिक लेवल पे बताऊं मैं तो सिंपल अपने आसपास चीज़ें देखो, अपने घर में चीज़ें देखो, अपने कॉलेज में चीज़ें देखो। आई हो अभी तुम लोग फिजिकली नहीं हो, एल्स यू विल फील फ्यू थिंग्स कि अगर यार ये चीज़ एक साथ हो जाए, ये चीज़ की इंफॉर्मेशन हमें एक जगह पे आ जाए तो लाइक हमें इतना भटकना नहीं पड़ेगा। मतलब बहुत सारी चीज़ें हो सकती हैं छोटी छोटी। लाइक मुझे एक सिंपल अपना खुद का ही ऐप चाहिए, अगर मैं उसमें क्या बोलते हैं पर्सनल 2-3 लोग हैं, बस हम दोस्त बात करना चाहते हैं, तो कुछ भी हो सकता है वो। लाइक कुछ भी आइडिया तुम्हारे पास, तो तुम उसके ऊपर वर्क कर सकते हो। एंड जैसे जैसे जो जो ट्रैक्स हैं उनको तुम फॉलो करोगे तो यू विल लर्न कि तुम्हें कैसे वर्क करना है उन चीज़ों पे। वो सारा तुम खुद से डेवलप करोगे उसको।
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
Yeah, and one more thing, like
sir,
request from someone like to show the demo of Android Studio. So Sekhar, is it possible for you?
I will try to share my screen if like I have stopped my Android Studio because it was actually network lag. I think we can show Android Studio in the next session. So because most of us don't installed Android Studio, so I will request you to install Android Studio first, then we will get hands-on on the Android Studio.
So yeah, just explore and come up with a lot of queries and doubt a lot of questions in the Slack community channel. These are our Instagram handles and Facebook handle, Twitter handle, LinkedIn as well. So just go out there. Akshay sir have already shared the link of all the social media platforms. So just yeah, that's all from our side. So I feel
And
that's
one
it,
more
sir.
thing, like Abhishek, just a second.
Right, so
Yeah. What I was saying, yeah, one more request is there of like explaining the fourth point, जो भी हमारा fourth point है ना, asynchronous nature of Kotlin language का. तो like what we can understand is जिसने भी पूछा था, like अगर वो chat में है या मीट में है, तो बहुत ही सिंपल लैंग्वेज में बताऊं कि जैसे हम बहुत सारे इंस्ट्रक्शंस देते हैं कंप्यूटर को, तो उसमें कंप्यूटर्स में क्या होता है, एक थ्रेडिंग नाम की चीज होती है. तो कोई कोई लैंग्वेजेस सिंगल थ्रेडेड लैंग्वेजेस होती हैं, वाइल कुछ कुछ लैंग्वेजेस मल्टी थ्रेडेड लैंग्वेजेस होती हैं. सो वो लाइक बहुत डीप में नहीं जाऊंगा मैं थ्रेडिंग के. सो चीज़ें क्या होती हैं कि सपोज कोई भी एक टास्क है, सपोज मुझे एक वैल्यू प्रिंट करनी है या एक वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करनी है. हम दो एग्जांपल लेते हैं. सपोज मुझे एक सिंपल हेलो वर्ल्ड प्रिंट करना है. सेकंड एग्जांपल जिसमें कुछ अरिथमेटिक कैलकुलेशन है, मुझे वो परफॉर्म करनी है. सो ये दो क्या होंगे, अगर कोई मल्टी थ्रेडेड चीज़ है, मल्टी थ्रेडेड लैंग्वेज है, तो उसमें क्या होगा, या एसिंक्रोनस नेचर है लैंग्वेज का, तो ये दोनों चीज़ें बिना एक दूसरे के टाइम लग के दोनों कंटिन्यूसली वर्क कर देंगी. ठीक है. सो हर एक इंस्ट्रक्शन, हर एक प्रोग्राम के लिए मल्टी थ्रेडिंग्स में हर एक छोटे छोटे चीज़ों के लिए वेरियस थ्रेड्स हो जाते हैं, जो अलग अलग अपनी जो भी इंस्ट्रक्शंस हैं वो एग्जीक्यूट करते रहते हैं. तो वो सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. अब सपोज कहीं कहीं पे ऐसी चीज़ भी होती है कि सिंगल थ्रेड है और उसमें एक इंस्ट्रक्शन आया, दूसरा आया, तो लाइक उसमें हमें काइंड ऑफ थोड़ा सा वेट करना पड़ सकता है टू गेट, जब तक वो कंप्लीट नहीं होता तब तक वो, अगर वो दोनों इंटर रिलेटेड है. लाइक इस बहुत अच्छा कॉन्सेप्ट होता है ये थ्रेडिंग का. कभी अगर डॉक्स वगैरह पढ़ने का किसी का वो इंटरेस्ट हो तो एक ब्लॉग भेज दूंगा मैं अपनी स्लैक कम्युनिटी पे, तो उससे तुम काफ़ी अच्छे से सीख सकते हो ये सारी चीज़ें कैसे वर्क करती हैं. सो आई गेस मैंने थोड़ा सा ओवरव्यू दिया है, मैंने बहुत अच्छे से डीपली एक्सप्लेन नहीं किया है बिकॉज थोड़ा हैवी कॉन्सेप्ट हो जाता है.
हाँ सर, मैं इस चीज़ को एक्सटेंड करना चाहूँगा जो आपने बोला. और एक एक्चुअली बहुत सारे लोगों का ये डाउट है कि एक्चुअली कॉटलिन मतलब अच्छा क्यों है, किस लिए यूज़ करें. हमने पहले बताया, बट जो लोग नहीं समझ पाए उनको मैं बता देता हूँ कि अगर तुम कॉटलिन क्यों यूज़ करना चाहिए. बेसिकली कॉटलिन इसलिए यूज़ करना चाहिए तुम्हें क्योंकि प्रीवियसली एंड्रॉयड डेवलपमेंट जावा में होती थी. जावा में ज़्यादा कोड लिखना पड़ता था, जावा बड़ी होती थी, उसमें नल पॉइंटर एक्सेप्शन आते थे, बहुत सारा कोड होता था, बहुत ज़्यादा क्रैश होती थी जावा. तो बेसिकली क्या हुआ कि एंड्रॉयड ने कॉटलिन में स्विच किया. कॉटलिन इज जस्ट लाइक कि वो पाइथन है एक तरीके से जो जावा से एक्सटेंड हुई है. तो तुम्हें कम कोड लिखना है, जो नल पॉइंट एक्सेप्शन होते हैं, ट्राई एंड कैच ब्लॉक्स होते हैं तुम्हारे, वो पहले से ही कॉटलिन कर देता है तुम्हारे लिए. मतलब तुम्हें कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता, तुम्हारे कोड बहुत फ्लुएंटली पहले से लिखे हुए आते हैं. तुम इवन ये कर सकते हो कि जावा का कोड कॉटलिन में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो कभी भी. अगर तुम्हें जावा आती है तो कोड लिख दो और एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो तुम्हें कॉटलिन में कन्वर्ट कर देगा, या जावा कॉटलिन सीखो और लिखो, वो भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. लास्ट में सर ने बता दिया कि थ्रेडिंग के बारे में, और थ्रेडिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है अगर एडवांस में अगर मतलब प्रोग्रामिंग करनी है, क्योंकि बहुत जब एंड्रॉयड स्टेडी वो हो जाता है, एप्स हैवी हो जाते हैं, तो थ्रेडिंग यूज़ करना पड़ता है. मैंने को रूटीन्स पढ़ा और एक चीज़ ये रियलाइज़ की कि जब मैं जावा में को रूटीन्स लिखता था, एक्चुअली जावा में बहुत बड़े होते हैं को रूटीन्स और तुम्हें बहुत ज़्यादा कोड लिखने पड़ते हैं. लेकिन कॉटलिन में 2 या 3 लाइन में तुम को रूटीन्स लिख सकते हो. बहुत ही सिंपल होता है, बहुत ही ज़्यादा एफिशिएंट होता है. इसलिए कॉटलिन में ज़्यादातर लोग स्विच कर रहे हैं. लोग चाहते हैं अब कोड करना कॉटलिन में, और आगे फ्यूचर में सारे ऐप्स कॉटलिन में बनेंगे. तो बेसिकली ये एक जस्ट एन ओवरव्यू है. अक्षय सर ने बहुत अच्छा समझा दिया थ्रेडिंग के बारे में, और थ्रेडिंग में हम कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं, पढ़ना कोई भी पढ़ सकते हो. नाउ मीर से मैं कहूँगा कि वो इस सेशन को कंक्लूड कर दे और
end
Alright,
करें the session को.
thing.
I don't
One
see
more.
a. Yeah, sir, you were saying.
Just a second. Yeah. मैंने अभी अभी जस्ट कम्युनिटी एंड स्लैक वगैरह सबके लिंक भेजे हैं, सो डू जॉइन दैट. लाइक इंस्टेड ऑफ डूइंग डीएम्स, लाइक हम में से किसी को भी तुम डायरेक्ट मैसेज करो सर ये इशू है, सेम चीजें तुम लोग स्लैक में पूछो तो बाकी लोगों को भी हेल्प होगी एंड वी ऑल ग्रो टुगेदर एज अ कम्युनिटी. ओके, सो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है स्लैक ज्वाइन करना एटलीस्ट, एंड बाकी पेजेस फॉलो कर लो टू गेट अपडेट्स. Another thing, जो second session होगा मे बी नेक्स्ट संडे, वी विल ट्राई टू पुट इट ऑन. टिल देन तुम उसको प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हो. हाँ, तुम पर्सनल ईमेल वगैरह किसी से भी आई गेस, yeah, like you can use any Gmail ID, whatever you have, and तुम तब तक ये वाली सारी चीजें बिगिनर्स वाली प्रैक्टिस करो. उसमें कोई डाउट आता है तो जस्ट आस्क इन दैट कम्युनिटी. एंड जिन्होंने भी, अगर तुम में से कुछ लोग होंगे जिन्होंने पहले से कुछ किया होगा एंड वो तुम्हारी हेल्प कर सकते हैं, हम लोग हैं वो हेल्प कर सकते हैं, तो ऐसे करके लाइक नेक्स्ट सेशन तक तुम्हें एक थोड़ा सा बेसिक क्रक्स आइडिया हो जाएगा चीज़ों का कि हाउ थिंग्स आर गोइंग. तो हम एक सैम्पल एप्लीकेशन बनाएंगे लाइक डाइस और रोल वाला, जो हम इससे प्रीवियस स्लाइड में दिखा रहे थे तुमको. एक बटन होगा एंड उसमें जो डाइस होगा वो रोल होगा. तो वैसा कुछ हम एक एप्लीकेशन बना के ट्राई करेंगे, वो सेकंड सेशन में होगा. एंड बहुत प्रॉब्लम आ रही है टाइम मैनेजमेंट की. अच्छा, लाइक just a second, let me conclude, then we'll just interact with you guys. So this is one thing, so do like बस इसको join कर लो अच्छे से and उसमें सारी चीजें हो जाएंगी. So I guess now Abhishek and Shekhar, we can just take up the questions from people. Now I am getting like time management का बहुत main issue. Time management is like अगर तुम घर पे हो and normal call. Abhishek, you can just let it share.
All
So,
right. All right.
So like college, no trick to, there is no trick for time management. We have Alan sir. Like Alan sir, you can help those people, like you are already in 4th year. You have spent 3 years in college, better than us.
He's here only, so I guess you can.
I guess you have to.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Alan sir. Good evening. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Guys, see, time management. Obviously, you're starting first year. You have your online classes. You know, there's a lot of stuff to do. You've got all these sessions, not only at DSC, but other clubs as well. So, I mean, even if you were in college right now, this would be a huge issue. Like, and all your seniors here would tell you that first year, the first few months were hectic as like anything. But that's the thing. In